Hello everyone, this is Glenn Tan speaking. This time we're going to talk about GMV5 Home series. First is the introduction. This presentation divided into these three parts. First is the product introduction, and after that we'll talk about the product features, and last is the cycles. And first is the capacity range. We have two types. First is the side discharge, is from 12 to 16 kilowatt. As for the total discharge, it's from 22.4 to 28 kilowatt. And what is GMV Home is from this diagram you can find that this is the outdoor unit and this is the indoor unit. So this is the regular air conditioning, which means this indoor unit can do room cooling and room heating. And besides this outdoor unit just connect with a hydro box, then from this one we can produce the hot water, and then if we can use this hot water, if you send it to this water tank, then it can heating up the domestic hot water. And if you just send this hot water to the floor coil, and we can also do the floor heating. And the last is these two together, which is we can send the hot water to the water tank for domestic hot water and also to the floor coil for floor heating. This table is the outdoor unit specification, and here is the model. And just like what I said, we have two types, which is the side discharge and the top discharge. And from this model you can find that this S means it is the home series, and this value, for example 120, that means the cooling capacity, it is 12.1 kilowatt. And also the L means it is side discharge, and if there's no L, that just like this one, it is the top discharge. And also the last alphabet, that means the power supply. Here, single S for single phases and X for three phases. And also you can find that here for side discharge we just use the compressor, it is from Gree rotary. And as for the top discharge is from Hitachi scroll. And with the hydro box we can produce the hot water, and the water out temperature is from 35 to 55 degrees. Next we will go to the hot water generator. For this one we have two types, which is the hydro box and the converter. And the difference I will analyze here for you. First, from this model you can find that they can both to produce the hot water, but the working theory is different. And for this hydro box there are two types of the heat transfer. First is from the refrigerant to the water, and then we can produce this hot water to heating up the water again. That means two types. But for this converter we just use the refrigerant to heating up the water directly. And so for this one, of course for the heat transfer efficiency, for this one is a little bit higher. And just because of this one, if this connect to the water tank, for this they must use the inner coil for the water tank. For this one it must use the external coil. And also this is only for side discharge. And this one, inside there is a water pump, and here is the flow rate, and also there is a built-in e-heater, it's 3 kilowatt. And the maximum water out temperature both of this one is up to 55 degrees. For the water tank, you can produce yourself. If you choose from gray, here is the model we can provide, and it is 185 liter with a built-in e-heater, which is 1.5 kilowatt. And here is the dimension, and also you can find that it is a 2 meter high. And here is the way, and also the inside apply refrigerant R14A. And here is the most important, which is this is the external. That means it can only for the converter, which is only for the side discharge. And for this one, the refrigerant goes in and comes out, and there are two temperature sensors. One is for display for the user, and the other one is for the system to control the water temperature. And here is one water in, and also for the water inside to discharge. And here is for domestic hot water out. Inside there is only one coil. For the operating range, according to the mood and also the mood combination, we divide it into different. So here is for the cooling, is from -5 to 50. Heating from -15 to 24. And either cooling or heating plus the hot water, the range is a little bit different. And if it is only hot water, it's from -15 to 43. If it is floor heating, it is changed to -15 to 21. And here is the power supply range for single phases and 3 phases. As for the inside structure of the hot water generator, first we will have a look at this hydro box. Just open the panels. Here is the inside, and you can find that we have the solenoid valve, water pump, expansion tank, and this one is the e-heater. Here is the safety valve and gas release valve, and this is the preheat exchanger to exchange heat between the refrigerant and the water. And also here is the solenoid valve. This is the EXV, and here is the water filter, and this green one is the electric box. And for the pipe connection, here is for water in and out, and of course here is a water filter, right? As for the refrigerant, just connect just like this with the gas pipe, liquid pipe, and high pressure gas pipe. For the adapter, open the panels. Here is the inside. You can find that here just connect with the 3 pipes to the outdoor unit. This is to the indoor unit and the water tank. And also inside there are 1 EXV and 2 solenoid valves to control the refrigerant. For the wiring, just like what I said, here is for the outdoor unit, and this part just connect to the water tank with the liquid and high pressure gas pipe. For the other indoor unit, just connect from here. So you can find that the difference between these two is this one is changed with the water, which means it can produce the hot water, but this one is just an adapter which to change the refrigerant direction to the water tank, which means we can also use the hot gas, the refrigerant, to heating up the water tank. And this one, we can use the hot water to heating up the domestic hot water. As for the water tank, if we choose from our gray, here is the features of it. First is the micro channel, just like this. This is the regular D pipe. You can find it. The contaction area is not that large, also means the heat transfer efficiency is not that high, and also for this one is easier to deform, which is it can make good contact with the water tank, this one. And also on side it is a special heat contact grease on the surface, which means the contact area there is the hot contact grease. And also there are two temperature sensors to control the water tank temperature, which can higher the control accuracy, which means the GMV5 Home can start up at the proper time. And also if it is you choose to produce yourself, we can also install only one water temperature sensor. Next is O2 heat recovery. And first of all, what is this means? And that means it is only in cooling mode, but at the same time it can produce the domestic hot water. And here is how it works, and you can find that if this indoor unit produce or require cooling, just like this, and we need to release heat, either is in the outdoor unit, but we can transfer this heat to here. Even without you don't require the domestic hot water, but we can still produce it. And for this one, we can you can get the free hot water. Also, this is only in cooling mode. This is called auto heat recovery. And for this one, you can do the cooling, but also at the same time you can get the domestic hot water. And for this one, it can lower the condensing pressure, which is the PC we call it here, which can lower the power consumption. And here are some concepts I need to clarify. First is the auto heat recovery, already introduced, which is the only for indoor unit in cooling. At this time, there is no domestic hot water requirement. And partial heat recovery, that means indoor unit also in cooling. Also at the same time, you are on purpose to do the domestic hot water. And at that time, either plus the compressor input for this combination, it can be higher or lower than the indoor unit total cooling capacity. And the fully heat recovery, that means the total indoor unit cooling capacity is almost the same as the summary of the water heating capacity, which is for this one, and the compressor input. For that time, it is fully heat recovery. Next is the sunflower function. What is the sunflower? It is that according to the daylight temperature change, and the system will also recall a curve just like this. And this is picture. This graph is here is the hour, and here is the outdoor and bin. The system can automatically record the outdoor and bin according to the different time. And then when you select to activate this sunflower function, the compressor is only heating up the domestic hot water only within this area. That means we will find the almost highest zone during one day to heating up the domestic hot water, which can higher the system of efficiency. As for the outside is to release heat, which is cold. If the outdoor ambient temperature is high, that means the efficiency is also very high. Next is the intelligent flow heating control. For this one, and just display like this examples. This is the outdoor unit. Here is the indoor unit. And this is the hydro box, and it connects with the flow coil. So in the room A, there is the indoor unit A and also the flow coil A. In in this room B, there are indoor unit B, also with a floor coil B. This intelligent floor heating, that means these two, which is this one and also this one, they can work together to heating up the room, which is also we call 3D heating, which can heating the room from every direction. And just like this, also you can use only one of this wire controller to control this one, and also which is to control this to achieve it. Just like this, you can do the heating to control this indoor unit. It is of course, right, very easy. But you can also control this heating performer to send the hot water to the floor coil to do the floor heating. Then we can call it 3D heating, which is heating the room with this one and also the floor coil. Next is the low noise defrost, and as we know that the defrost, the purpose of it is just to melt down the ice on the outdoor heat exchanger. For that one, we need to perform cooling, right? At that time, we need to send the hot gas to the outdoor unit, and then after it absorbs heat, which is to melt down the ice, the refrigerant will become liquid. Then we can send this liquid for the GMV home. We can send it to the domestic hot water. If it is higher than 10 degrees, then we can absorb the heat, which is to make the refrigerant to become gas and flow back to the compressor. But just compare with the regular heat pump, for the regular heat pump, that is only to send to the indoor unit, but also to improve the comfort. At that time, we also stop the indoor unit fans, which is to stop heating. Then we need to send this liquid refrigerant, which is to get to the indoor unit, but there's no heat exchange and flow back to the outdoor unit. But even for that, the indoor room temperature, it can drop. Just I may compare here, it is slowed down 4 to 6 degrees, but for GMV home, it is drop only within 2 degrees. And also, as you know that at that time, the refrigerant, even there is no heat exchange, but the noise is still generates. And for GMV home, there is almost no flow noise. And the same point is that they also change the direction of the four-way valve, and also the indoor unit stops. Auto control water temperature. This function is according to your selection. If you activate this, and the system will adjust the domestic hot water and floor heating water temperature automatically. And also that is based on the actual outdoor ambient temperature. So I will give you an example to explain this. And for example, this already set by the system, which is the outdoor ambient, the lower and upper limit, and also the water out, which is for the domestic hot water, the upper and lower limit. For example, if today it detected the outdoor ambient is 20 degrees, then it can automatically calculate that today's domestic hot water setting temperature is 48 degrees. And for this function, there is no need to set any parameter. All is controlled for the system. And also all the parameter is already fixed in the control program. Disinfection operation mode. The purpose of it is just to disinfect the water system, and the method is just heating up the water temperature. And what you can set is when to do it and the target water temperature, whether you need to reach the max 70 degrees. And the last is how long to do it again. And for example, if we just need to heating up to the maximum 70 degrees to clean the water, and the heat pump which is the compressor is only heating up to 55, and from 55 to 70 degree is only heating up by the water tank e-heater. Water heating function. First is the holiday or action function. That means if you are not at home for a long time, but at that time you like to keep your room from freezing, then you can activate this function, and the system can also operate to keep your room from frozen, especially the water system. And the next is the rapid water heating function. That means you need to get either the domestic hot water or the floor heating as soon as possible. At that time, we can activate the compressor and also plus the e-heater. For DHW is the water tank. For the floor coil, it is in the hydro box. So with these two together, we can get the hot water as soon as possible. And the next is the water return heating, also called instant hot water. That means when you use the DHW, and if for example, if you just wait for maybe 1 or 2 hours, you will find that the DHW is not that hot from your tap water. Then you can activate this function to make the cold water to flow back to the water tank, and then when you next time you turn on the tap, then you can instant get the hot water. Next will be the G Cloud, also the Wi-Fi function, and the connection is the same as GMV5, which is we need to use this G Cloud and then connect with the GMV system. Then if you are at home, you can use your home Wi-Fi. Then you can control this GMV system with your Google Plus app, which is in your smartphone. If you are not at home, you can also do the communication or to control, to check the parameter with your smartphone just by the Google Cloud. And just pay attention that for this one is not for the hot water control, which is not for the hot water generator. Low noise control technology. For this part is completely the same as the GMV heat pump, so we can skip. Also the same as this low noise control technology, which is to slow down or to lower the compressor and fan RPM to lower the outdoor unit noise. And when you activate the maximum level 12, we can make the outdoor unit noise as low as 45 dB. Energy saving mode, also the same as the GMV heat pump regular, so we can skip. As the system adopt the CAN communication technology, for this one, the communication speed is very fast, and also we don't require the STP, just the regular 2 wires is okay. And also for the wire, there is a non-polarity. That means for the wiring, you don't need to memorize the color of the wires, just make it as mix match and cross match is acceptable. Also at the outdoor unit PCB, there is a CN44 to connect with either the fire alarm or light switch or the emergency stop button. For this one, we can stop the system immediately. So an example to display this one is this is the outdoor unit, and inside this building, when it receives with the fire alarm signal, which is sent from here, then it can immediately stop the operating. Also, on the GMV selector, we also have the GMV home series selection. Just input your information, so you can also get the uh, water tank and also flow coil. This is the hydro box. After you input the information of the pipeline, the system can automatically calculate how many refrigerant you need to additional charge. And also you can check whether your combination is okay or not. And for this part, it's completely the same as the regular heat pump system. As for the central controller, this is the summary of it. Currently, we have these three types of the wire controller, which is the CE53, CE52, and CE54. And first is the size. The first two is 7-inch, and the last one is 4.3. And this one, it can support GMV Home, and also you have the e-control. E-control, that means you can preset your appointed indoor units in your appointed operating mode or appointed operate setting. Then when you activate this e-control, your appointed indoor units can operate your operating mode to avoid to set one by one. And also the accessible or the connectable indoor units is a little bit different. Just pay attention here. As for how to do the wiring, here is this CE52 for example, and this is the wiring of this CE52. Here the NL means the power supply for this one, and if it just connect with only one system, either it is GMV Mini, Slim, or GMV5 or 6 or GMV Home series, you can connect from the either outdoor unit D1, D2 or indoor unit D1, D2, and just connect like this. And here it is connected to this G1, G2 port. And if it is for multi-system, so you need to find out the master outdoor unit and just combine from the G1, G2 on every system the master outdoor unit and combine them together and connect here. And also don't forget the match resistor to ensure the communication. As for the wire, here is the requirements of it. Here is the specified indoor unit control interface on central controller. From this here, you can change the setting temperature, operating mode, fan speed, and if available, you can choose how the ruler swing. And at the advanced setting, you can activate or deactivate all the functions. And just pay attention to here. Here we offer you this 5 shoe setting, which is you can choose to set or to change the setting from the wire controller. As for the hydro box, you can also control just to change the setting temperature and also choose either this hot water or floor heating and different operating functions. And also available to connect with this commissioning software from PC. And here with the green brand and also no brand the model. The connection is also very easy, the same as the heat pump. For the commissioning methods, it is the same as heat pump, which is from the outdoor unit PCB, debugging software from your PC, or from the portable debugger. And here is the model of it. If you select from PC, which is we recommended, here is the how to do it. First, there is the software and then press this OK to the next. Then here is the connection attention. So to show you how to do the wiring either for single system or multi-system. And just click here for the connection, then we go to this page. So from here you can see all the parameter of the out dot unit, in dot unit, and also the system information, this part and this part. As for the commissioning, just add here, this is the bar, and all the steps we will display directly to you. And also, if it is okay, it will display this green mark. If it is not okay or an error, it will also display the error code and directly to you. As for the portable debugger, and which is this one, this is the control interface of LV specified in dock unit. And also the same, you can change the setting temperature, mood, fan speed, and how the lower spin. And also you can check all the out dot unit and in dot unit information. And also if you choose from the debugging from here, we will display all the steps directly here for you. And currently this is quick debug is reserved, no function. As for the wiring of this portable debugger, there is no need any other device, just a wire from this one, and directly if you choose from the indoor unit, just select any of it, then pound to this CN11. Then for the single system, it is available to do the commissioning, and also you can use this one to set the system parameter like the auto ESP, and also to change the fan speed or control one or multi indoor units, which is CN11. And also from the outdoor unit, it is for single system is from D1, D2, which is here, or for multi-system G1, G2. And also for this one, it is available to connect to our remote monitoring software. And this is from our grid cell developer. And here is the software, and this is the gateway hardware. And currently there are two generations. And the wiring is also very easy, just from this outdoor unit, the G1, G2, from this CAN signal to the gateway. And from the gateway, we use a Ethernet cable to a router, then to this PC. Then this PC can communication, which is to check or to command to send its order to control the GMV system. If the PC it is a third-party BNS system, then we also support. You need to select the gateway. Also, we have two generations, and for the second generation, it is acceptable for BATnet and Modbus. If you select the Modbus Mini, which is ME30, this one, and the connection is just like this. Here is the GMV system. Then also connect with the GN1, G2 to this gateway. Then from here, there is a ICE45 output. Then after this ICE45 converter, then you can connect to the PC. As for this one, we also support two model, which is according to the output. It it is USB or the ICE232. This is different. For the third part is the cycles. Here I will analyze how the refrigerant flow between the outdoor unit water tank and also converter and the in-dock units. And this example is the side discharge connected with the converter and water tank. Then this is the in-dock units. First is the domestic hot water, and we need to send the hot gas, which is from the outdoor unit, and from here we just convert or to change the direction, just follow this one to the water tank. Then after release heat, the hot gas will become liquid. Then we need to collect this liquid back to the outdoor unit, just like this. So in summary, to heating up this DHW, we need to release heat only from here, right? And for the indoor unit, if they require cooling, which is with cooling plus domestic hot water, then this one, for example, if this two require cooling, then we need to send the cold gas, or need to send the refrigerant in liquid, then also to here to the in-dock unit. Then after absorb heat, which is doing cooling of the in-dock unit, then we need to collect the gas back to here and to the outdoor unit. So you can find it at this time, this is for cooling and this too is for heating. As for the hydro box, it can also produce the domestic hot water. And for this type, it can connect with the flow coil and also the water tank. Of course, this one is the inner coil. And also in this example, this is the outdoor unit, hydro box, flow coil, water tank, and also with 3 indoor units. So first is the cooling. Here is the how the refrigerant flows. Also from the outdoor unit directly. For example, these two require cooling. Then the refrigerant will send from the outdoor unit then to the indoor unit and also get expanded and become low temperature. Then it can absorb heat, then become gas and flow back to the outdoor unit. So the outdoor unit is release heat, then indoor unit absorb heat. And if at the same time we require the domestic hot water, then we need to send the hot gas, which is from the third piping, and send it to this hydro box. And also after release heat, this hot gas will become the liquid. And then we can combine these two liquid. One is from the hydro box, the other one is from the indoor units. Combine them together. And here is after that, the hydro box can generate the hot water. And from the connection, just go to this, and for DHW, which we need to send the hot water to here, which is to heating up the DHW. Then it become cool down and back to the hydro box. So from this one, it already be heating up the DHW. And the if we need the cooling plus the flow coil, which is the same this one, it will be mood conflict because nobody will use this one. The head is cooling, but the foot is heating. It will be mood conflict. So how about only floor heating? At that time, you can find that we can just send the hot gas to the hydro box directly, just like this, and then we can collect the liquid refrigerant back to the outdoor unit. So the hydro box can produce the hot water. Then we can send this hot water to here and just turn on this valve D. Then we can send the hot water to the flow coil to do the flow heating. And then after cooling down, we will send the water back to the hydro box and heating up again. So in summary, this part is doing heating and the outdoor unit is cooling. So how about we plus this indoor unit in heating? For example, if this tool require heating, then we also send the hot gas from here to the indoor unit, and then after it will become liquid and also collect and join together with the liquid piping with the hydro box, then together go back to the outdoor unit. Also in summary, this 3 floor coil indoor unit is doing heating and the outdoor unit is doing cooling. If the water tank has 2 coils, just like this, you can find it. One coil is for the GMV home to heating up the DHW, and also the other one you can connect with this solar panel. Also, this it can heating up the DHW. This for this solar panel, it can higher the system efficiency. And here is the working theory. And once you have temperature sensor here. Once we detected the temperature here is higher than the DHW here, then we will turn on this pump to circulate the water, which is to heating up the DHW, just like this, and higher than this one, circulate the water to heating up. The last is the mood selection and priority sequence, which means either the indoor unit is off air supply, cooling, dehumidifying, or heating, and the DHW on, off, standby, floor heating, on, off, standby. And with this combination, what is the results? What and the priority sequence? And I just make this table just for your reference to memorize easier with this combination, which will the system will do first, and then second, and the last. And also the default priority sequence, it will be heating, and after that DHW, and the third is the floor heating. It is adjustable in P48. That's all for the GMV5 Home Series introduction. If you still have any question, please feel free to contact me on this email address.